Yes, now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Thomas Fans YouTube channel. It's time to talk SmackDown. I should have brought you this video yesterday, but I didn't. We're here today regardless. There's some interesting stuff to cover, I'll be real. Do I just go for the big things right off the bat? I think I do. Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, WWE contract signing. I mean, the hype was built all night for this contract signing. So obviously, especially for a WWE title match at Mania between two guys we've always wanted to see face each other, the hype has to be there. Let's be real. And there's been lots of questions surrounding everyone. Questions surrounding Randy Orton's voices. Questions surrounding Cody Rhodes' character. I mean, the guy was not entitled to a WWE title match, didn't win the Rumble, didn't win the Chamber, but yet ended up getting it anyway. Do you know what I mean? So part of me thought that, if anyone was going to turn heel, it should have been Cody Rhodes, because everyone was kind of turning against him. And, I mean, there's a clear difference in the fans. When Randy came out, he got cheered. When Cody came out, he got booed. It might sound different in the building, but that's what SmackDown showed with. And there's a lot of people online giving hate. I mean, I know online doesn't technically count a lot of the time, but you would have thought it would make sense that Cody Rhodes turned heel, but no, it was Randy Orton. And do you know what's just, perfect about this? Is that, it didn't feel like the right move, yet they made it look like the right move because of how good Randy Orton pulled that off. And I think this just shows, there is actually levels to this in wrestling. There's not just in-ring quality, but there's serious character work. And Randy Orton showed that, there's a difference. Randy Orton is a babyface, is cool, and he's a legend. But the second he got the chance to turn heel and be sadistic, brother, you see how good he pulled that move off. You see how good he just kind of switched, and you can see the voices in his head, and he twitches, and he stumbles, and it's like he's getting overtaken by voices. You can actually see him mentally battling in his head. It's insane, and it's amazing. And that's why Randy Orton's the GOAT, because he's great at that shit. The way he turned on Cody and absolutely brutalized him. He barely, let's be real. What he did was hit him with a low blow, threw him to the outside, threw him over the announce desk, hit him with the steps. From that, Cody was bleeding, his shirt was ripped open. It looked like Randy had brutally assaulted him. But he did stuff that happens in every match. That's how good that looked like. Yes, he did come back later on after battling the voices and moving out of the way. When Jelly Roll was there to support Cody, God knows why. I know Jelly's cool with Randy and Cody, but it's just kind of Jelly doesn't need to be in there. And we'll get into Jelly Roll in a minute. I know he did come back with the chair and hit him while he was on the steps, which is obviously a sadistic move, but how well they sold this was perfect. For the people that were complaining, including me, that Drew McIntyre wasn't going to be in the WWE title match, they've just now made us care about the WWE title match. And don't get me wrong, I was never against Cody and Randy. That's perfect. It's just sad what happened to Drew. But yeah, they've massively sold this, and they've done a very, very good job of it. Now, when it comes to Jelly Roll, like I mentioned, he was a guest on Miz TV, and it was only it wasn't until this episode actually came on that I realised how long it's been since we've actually had Miz TV. So it was good to see it back. Out came Jelly Roll, and my one critique, right? Jelly Roll has his own WWE entrance theme, but it's not sang by him. You'd think you'd get to play one of his songs. Do you know what I mean? Mental, but whatever. Jelly cut a great promo. Jelly is made for this. I've said this before. Out of all the celebrity wrestlers, Jelly Roll is my favourite. And you're probably thinking, why? Logan Paul's incredible in the ring. Bad Bunny was incredible in the ring. Jelly Roll, last time he was there, kind of got his ass kicked. Yes. In ring, he's not the best. But he completely understands the business inside and out. He is a fan first. And he knows the character work. He understands the promo work a bit better than Logan Paul did. Logan Paul might understand it now, but that's after he's been around the business and learned it, Jelly Roll was a fan first, and you can tell, because even just the Miz insulting his weight loss on Miz TV drove a great promo out of him straight away. He was not baby steps. He slammed his foot in the door and said, bang, he has a good promo. And the guy's got a good promo, and he's getting a good pop, and I think we could be getting a Jelly Roll Miz WrestleMania match. Now, that is what I initially thought, and Kit Wilson came out, and I'm thinking, oh, is maybe Kit Wilson the route they want to go down for Jelly Roll at Mania, because Kit's a bit more over than the Miz is right now. Are we real? And I wouldn't want that as much. Kit Wilson, Jelly Roll, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Jelly Roll and the Miz, the Miz has done plenty of things with outsiders like Bad Bunny, like Logan Paul. in all their first matches. The Miz is a veteran. The Miz would make sense. So, God knows. But after Kit Wilson did the whole thing of insulting his face tattoos and his previous criminal charges, saying he's toxic, all that, Jelly Roll insulted him, obviously back. Jelly Roll kind of admitted that we all kind of sort of like him. Jelly Roll has that fan relation, because he's a fan himself. He's like, we secretly all kind of like you. But then obviously when Kit Wilson kept talking, Jelly got in his face. Jelly threw a punch. Obviously Kit Wilson moved out of the way and it hit the Miz. Kit Wilson's set to call out Jelly Roll next week, which I think we're going to get a match on SmackDown leading up to WrestleMania. I wouldn't be surprised, I don't think Jelly wants his first singles match being at Mania, so he's probably going to have a singles match with Kit Wilson next week or the week after on SmackDown. And with the Miz being the one that got punched, but the Miz not being the one calling him out next week, I think it's a bit of a longer storyline, and I'm here for it. And I wonder if Danhausen's going to get involved, because Danhausen, again, cursed the Miz. And you might think nothing really happened. You might just think, oh, he cursed the Miz and the Miz got punched by Jelly Roll. Did you not see the microphone not working at first? That happened twice on SmackDown, by the way. Oh, well, Nick had to switch on a microphone anyway. But no, I think Danhausen's curses are going to continue throughout the next coming weeks. And I think at WrestleMania, we're probably going to get some goofy program where it's Jelly Roll versus The Miz, but The Miz has Kit Wilson in his corner and Jelly has Danhausen in his corner. Maybe it's a tag team match, which I wouldn't be as fond of. I want to see Jelly in one-on-one action. But it's cool. I like that Jelly Roll's coming back for WrestleMania because the guy gets it, and I'm a serious fan of him being a wrestler, genuinely. It's such a shame how old he is, because obviously you could tell, like, he's a major star and he's a musician first, and he's not going to be focused on WWE, but if we do get matches from him, we're not going to get that many because the guy's already 41. So that's a shame. As for Jade Cargill, she had a match with Michin this week after, their months and months and months of beef. It was a non-title match, and, Michin put up a bit of a fight, but Jade Cargill ended up brutalizing her. Rhea Ripley came out, after last week's awful promo from both of them. We were hoping for a bit better of a promo, and she kind of did, She kind of played off of Jade saying that she's that bitch, and she went, you're not that bitch, you're my bitch. Or, well, after Mania, you're going to be my bitch, and whatever. It was just like a bit of a stare-down moment, keeping the hype alive. I'll be real, the hype for this WrestleMania match is going to have to be the in-ring work. It's going to have to be the match on paper, because the promos ain't cutting it. The storyline, there is none. Let's be honest, it's just a competitive thing. Like, there was so much more of a storyline for Raquel and Jade, which is why I felt like Raquel should have won the Chamber. But it is what it is. As for the tag team division, quite a few things went on. As we know, Damian Priest, R-Truth, won that tag team tournament last week. Los Lotharios, or Los Garza, whatever you want to call them, called them out, saying, well, we did all the work, you just came up and picked up the scraps at the very end. So they had a match. Damian Priest and R-Truth won. Are you surprised? No. I don't know when they're going to have this tag team match. Are they saving it for Mania? I hope not, because I'm hoping we're getting a much bigger match at Mania, multi-teams, because we've got loads of tag teams doing nothing. Is it going to be next week? God knows, because this week we had Uncle Howdy and Eric Rowan taking on Solo Sikoa and Tala Tonga. So the two big guys and powerful guys, and the two leaders of the groups. These factions have been feuding for months, and you thought it was over when they did the 5v5, no, when they did the 4v4, just after, no, was it before the Rumble, before he had in the air, God knows, but you thought it was over then, but it's not, it's still continuing. And thanks to, all the lantern shenanigans, I think Uncle Howdy and Eric Rowan end up getting the win. Nelly won the lantern back, and that's when Tama Tonga kind of just came along and swiped it again. And Tama Tonga's still having backstage encounters with Shinsuke. This time Solo himself actually confronted Shinsuke and was like, stay the hell away from my family, because Solo can see what Shinsuke is doing. He's getting in the head of Tama Tonga, and he's making Tama Tonga realize he can be a Solo's guy, and he can win big. And just like Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga's going to be the next guy to break out of the bloodline circle and kind of go solo and do some things of his own, So that's going to be pretty exciting. But as for the tag team division, are they going to run MFTs versus the Wide Six all the way through to Mania? If so, does that mean they're going to drop the titles to Priest and Truth, and then we're going to have some sort of tag team program at Mania? God knows, because Motor City Machine Guns aren't in a great place. Alex Shelley, who obviously we know was friends with Johnny Gargano until he turned on them with DIY, was spotted with Candice LeRae trying to figure out and help Johnny Gargano. That's when Chris Sabin came up to him. As we know, we fell out last week over losing the tag team match, and then they're still kind of on rocky terms, and Chris Sabin said, well, it's fine, because I got us a match with Nick Aldis next week, and it's against Fraxium. You had this big build-up, like, guess who it's against? Fraxium. And, like, crowd goes mild, because no one gives a shit. We've probably seen that match so many times. And God knows where that match is actually going to lead, Tag team title opportunity. Well, Truth and Priest already won that, and they've not even got it yet, so God knows where it's going to lead, like I said. We did have... I think we had some sort of program with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. I think it was a tag team title match. Wow, can't believe I forgot that. Nia Jackson, Lash Legend, the Irresistible Forces against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, which eventually ended in DQ. I can't remember. Oh, because the Bella Twins showed up on SmackDown. We've seen them show up on Raw, on the Raw after Rumble, claiming they were gonna, win these tag team titles. They came back to win the tag team titles. We've not seen them for ages, and then they show up on SmackDown and just like kind of inject themselves into the feud. The whole kind of match was a bit botchy, and it was a mix of everyone. The Bella Twins, ring rust, Irresistible Forces just being too big to kind of like be smooth, and there was just lots of botches, It wasn't a fun segment. It kind of felt a bit clunky, but it is what it is. Where we're going to go with this, I've got no clue. I've got no clue what the plan is for Mania. Are we going to get maybe a triple threat tag? Potentially. But you can tell the Bella Twins are just here to take the tag team titles, defend them a couple of times, lose them, and go. Like, that's simply what this is. So, we're just waiting for the inevitable. Like, just let's have it happen. As for the US Open Challenge, I can't remember what it was, if there was one. Was there one? And why can't I remember what it was? Because we had Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov backstage. Ilya just saying he still doesn't deserve that shot, because how can he deserve a shot at Carmelo Hayes when he's still battling himself? Do you know what I mean? Can't remember how we did the US Open Challenge with. Genuinely. Can't remember. It's gone from my head. Clearly no one memorable. But he didn't lose the title, so Carmelo's still the US champion. Did they forget to do the Open Challenge? I kind of think who it could have been. Could have literally been anyone. Yeah, that's that. But as for the Women's United States Championship, we're actually doing something in that division. We're actually probably going to get bit of a revitalization in that division, because Tiffany Stratton just took on Kiana James. She's having a bit of a spat with Julia and Kiana lately. Leading up to Mania, when a big star like Tiffany Stratton doesn't have a world title match. So she'll beat Kiana James. And Chelsea Green's still injecting herself because she's got a bad ankle. She can't wrestle, but she was there with Alba Fire watching the match. I feel like we're probably going to get a match between Tiffany and Chelsea. And at Mania, it's probably going to be Tiffany Julia or Tiffany Julia Chelsea. Regardless, at Mania, Tiffany Stratton's going to win that United States Women's Championship. And we're going to get the Becky Lynch effect, but on the Women's United States title division with Tiffany Stratton. She's going to bring that title to new heights, give her a good, entertaining feud, give her some great matches, and just going to make that belt mean something, Because Julia, Chelsea, Zelina, they're all great wrestlers, and they all have major potential, but WWE never booked that title properly. Never. Not one, memorable feud. Obviously memorable because, we've witnessed them all, and Chelsea Green had it for a while, but, nothing significant, nothing special ever happened with that title, like it did with the Women's Intercontinental title, which made it onto, loads of PLEs last year. And I think the Women's United States Championship made it onto one, and that was, Saturday night's main event, which technically isn't even a PLE. So, yeah. We're finally going to get something done in that area, I suppose. And apart from that, we had the opening segment with Drew McIntyre calling out Nick Aldis, claiming bullshit and all that sort of stuff. You can imagine, he would be fuming. And Nick Aldis, tried to calm him down. Out came Jacob Fatu, having a bit of the stare down. Jacob Fatu, nah, you screwed yourself, you've been screwing people left, right, and center. You deserve it, sort of thing. And when Drew McIntyre's like, okay, Nick, are you going to do anything about it? And he's like, no. Drew just simply goes, I quit. Drops the microphone. Nothing we haven't heard before. We've heard those words from Drew McIntyre before. And it seemed like he did. And as we progressed throughout the night, we had Trick Williams, Jacob Fatu kind of run into each other. And that determined the main event. Trick versus Jacob Fatu in the main event. And Sami Zayn actually ran into Trick Williams this time, but after running into Cody Rhodes. He ran into Cody Rhodes earlier, said something stupid, regretted it, and then ran into Trick Williams. And this was the one time after he had a conversation with someone and got into an argument with them that he didn't kick off with himself, because Trick Williams is a bad guy necessarily, and Trick didn't correct Sami, you know. Sami just kind of tried to embarrass him, and he's telling Trick he's embarrassed, and, you know, I thought you were meant to be the guy, and you've got no match for me, and all this sort of stuff. Kind of just projecting the insecurities that Sami has, because Sami's trying to feel comfortable here. He's looking at everyone else around him just like, oh shit, I'm not doing anything. And that's when Trick just kind of called me, said, if I didn't have a match right now, I'd whoop your ass. And that was it. And he went out and had his match. And that was the one time Sami didn't kick off after he had a spat with someone. And Alistair's still present. I feel like I'm starting to think maybe Trick and Sami might be the plan for Mania. I don't want that, because I don't think they'll have the chemistry that Sami and Alistair will. I think Sami and Alistair is the better route to go. And I think do something with Trick like a Carmelo Hayes. Do you know what I mean? Do something special with Trick. Do something different. But don't need Sami Zayn and Trick Williams. We just don't. Don't think that would be that as exciting. Granted, Alistair Black is not as exciting as Trick Williams, but with the story potential, the match quality potential, and the fact that Alistair could change Sami's character is way more intriguing to me than just seeing Trick Williams, Sami Zayn. Do you know what I mean? You should know what I mean. But that's... Oh, well, I didn't even mention the winner. Trick Williams beat Jacob Fatu in the main event because Drew McIntyre did not actually quit. Of course, he showed up to screw Jacob Fatu, and Trick Williams pinned Jacob clean. Technically not clean because Drew got involved, but like it wasn't like a roll-up or whatever. He hit him with 2 trick shots and pinned Jacob Fatu. That's major for Trick Williams. If you ever want to like think like how seriously are they actually taking Trick Williams, the guy just won the main event of SmackDown. Like, that's how serious they're taking him. He's over as fuck, and it makes sense, so why not do it? But that's my opinions on SmackDown. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.